Alright, let's get this over with. We're only a few techs away from being able to colonize the rest of the Americas, and anything else we want, really. That being said, we are ahead of time on all of our technology, and we could take level 76 admin right now if we wanted to. But we're not going to. Could, but we won't. Great Colster. Where is this at? NT Zealots? Okay. We have a ton of money right now, which is great. I think we're still a ways off of being able to re-ally the Russians. Not until 1821. The normal end year of the game, I think. I think it's 1821 anyway. Everybody has a massive number of alliances now, so any war we fight is pretty much going to be basically a pre-World War I scenario. We need to choose our enemies carefully. France is actually in a war against Lanzhang right now. And actually, if we declared war on France right now, Vijayanagara will join, Austria would join, Lüneburg would join. Papal State would join, Venice and Liège. I could get Brittany, Burgundy, and Japan on it as well. Burgundy I would promise land to. Brittany's kind of a waste of an ally, honestly. Do I fear any of these people's navies? Holy shit, Portugal is 20,985 ducats in debt. How did that happen? So, in other words, if we declared war on Portugal right now... Okay, Aragon's liberty desire is increasing. If we declared war on Portugal right now... Okay, I was thinking some of their allies might not come in, but they are definitely not ready for a war. What about Great Britain? They're only allied to... Oh, they're allied to Prussia, Russia, and Salzburg. And all of them would come into a war if I declared against them. I think this is the best time to do this war, actually. What is Prussia doing exactly? They're in a war with Norway and Denmark. And what war exactly? Russian reconquest of. Okay, so... I suppose... if ever there was a time to do it, it would be nowish. We're ahead of time on military tech, so things are good in that regard. Cancel that drilling. We are building a spy network in Niger Coast in order to hopefully push their liberty desire up above 50%. Alright. I just realized Niger Coast is probably not the best one to do either. One of the best ones would probably be Portuguese Gambia, if any. They all suck in some way because I think they all negatively affect my ability to pull, or my ability to move income from the Ivory Coast forward. Alright, anyway. Back to this thing. Vijayanagar, Austria, Lüneburg, Papal State, Venice, Liège. Let's look at some of these. Vijayanagar I am not so worried about. The same goes for... No, that's the only one in the east, I think. And we can... have these ships protect the sea around the Philippines. This is considered part of the South China Sea, right? I don't know, I don't feel comfortable sending those ships out. Then again, I think we will need to... I don't think we need to, but I would like to go and take some of the land France has in the Spice Islands. So let's look at what we're fighting against and what we've got if I do this. Alright, so let's look at our allies. Brittany has 26,000, Burgundy has 109,000, we have 350,000. Prussia would not join, Japan would. Japan would kind of be useless in the European aspect. Who else? France, Papal State. Lüneburg is single province, so not an issue. Austria is single province. Palatinate is a major threat, potentially a major threat, along with the Papal State. Venice is relatively small. Liège is single province. So Austria has 14,000. Belarus is a country, apparently. Did I know that? Have I seen that before? So what else? France has 103,000. That's significant. Lüneburg has 22,000. Okay. Who was the other one? There's another... Oh yeah, Papal State. And I think... Palatinate. Papal State and Palatinate. Too many P words. They're under the, aren't they? Yep. So the Palatinate has 133,000. The Papal State has 58,000. So I think what I'm going to have to do is get my armies over to Burgundy quickly and get the Palatinate out of the war as fast as possible. and then the Papal State. And maybe then smaller countries if we can. We have military access, right? Yep. I don't think it matters though. Let's do it. We'll see everything come to a head. And we are... Oh yeah, Vijayanagara has a ton too, don't they? Yeah, they have 270k by themselves. So I'll need to watch the Philippines relatively closely, I think. To prevent any landings. How many transports does Vijayanagara have? 35. So if I start losing occupations, that'll be a big issue. Okay. Let's get our armies over here. Palatinate is first. We're going to avoid the Mediterranean. Oh, they're... Okay, Vijayanagara has 59 heavies. And so I'm actually going to have my navy not do anything. We'll have to just take on their armies as they come. I'm going to switch over to war focus. Alright. So my guess is that France will go after Brittany first, and... Wait, the Palatinate didn't come in? Did I completely ignore that? We just cut France's alliances down by a lot. Papal State, though. Papal State is at war with us. So France, Austria. We're going to tell Burgundy to go after the Pope. And I think the Pope doesn't really have that many troops. How many cannon do they have? So altogether they have about 60,000. Which is not too bad, really. I'm not going to set all of these, just the northernmost. And also Rome. Have them go after Austria and Lüneburg as well. Jarkan must be a, it's vassal of Vijayanagara. Liège. And I was thinking about bringing these guys down. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to leave them in South America to possibly be a threat to anybody who tries to invade us, like, who was it that did it in a more recent war? No idea. Anyway, go to Picardy. France has how many heavies by themselves? 7. 26 lights. 26 galleys. Alright, so yeah, we're completely going to avoid the Mediterranean. Navarre? Is a vassal of France? Okay. Oh, and I completely forgot about Venice. Alright, we'll see if Burgundy does what I tell them to. And I'm going to hope that Brittany actually does something. Let me guess, you're going to want orders the whole time. Or you'll want individual orders. We'll see if they do anything smart. Okay, Brittany is going for the dumb move and going for Barry. Guane's base production. I think that's a 20 now. It is. So, next institution that spawns is nationalism. Development at least 20. Damn it. And I messed that up. Already doing stuff that I shouldn't be. Connected to capital of the United States. This is not that. Neither's this. Princetown technically is, as is Whitham Point. So let's go back to this again. Port Dampier. Not going to do that one. Wrong culture. Anyway, I'm looking at the wrong thing, aren't I? No, wait, that was that was what I wanted. Greenridge, Baltimore, Mount Royal. Baltimore definitely is. Mount Royal is Montreal. Mexico, Tortuga. Tenbishire? Carlisle? I'm looking for coastal provinces. Williamsburg. So Williamsburg and Baltimore. And the reason why I'm looking for coastal provinces more than anything else is one of the next institutions after nationalism, which I believe is I think it's actually globalization. It has to be either a port or a capital province for globalization, and that has to be development 40. Both of which are long shots and still way far off, but we'll and I don't actually plan on playing recording every second of time up until those spawn, but I do kind of want to see what happens when I get to that late of a point in the game. Alright, Burgundy's defending in the mountains, technically. And they are losing that fight, and our troops have just arrived. Yeah, she does have a level 9 fort. Austria's forced marching. Alright, I'm going to go for a little bit of a crazy play here. We have Drake there. And Lawrence Rook. I actually want Marlborough on the other one. He actually has some siege maneuver, or some siege ability. We'll have Drake back in. Actually, we'll have George Cook back in this, South America, and this guy will, the last guy will be in the Philippines. How much money are we making? 636 ducats a month. Alright, and I would love it if Prussia got out of their war in time for me to call them into this one. Okay, we're going to try to take on both of those sieges relatively quickly. That's a very low level fort. Okay, so I do have the generals going to the appropriate forts. Alright, Brittany, that's a dumb move. Why would you even do that? Alright. Burgundy has taken the French capital, which is the war goal, so we've now got taking war score. But Brittany is losing their... land quickly. What is France's fleet doing over here? These are relatively weak ships. And right now I want my big fleet of ships to hunt enemy fleets in actually kind of tempting to go into the Mediterranean. France, Venice, and the Papal State against my massive number of ships. All right, do that. How many leaders can we get? We can get another one, so we'll go ahead and get an admiral who's pretty crap. We'll take this guy then. And this fleet will get Humphrey Cornwallis. And I am actually going to fire on these walls to make the siege go faster. We're not taking too much attrition despite having 80,000 troops in Liège. And French Pacific is going after New Zealand, which is perfectly reasonable. And there's 2 heavies. We are taking some losses here. And we sank the French fleet. Or at least part of it. And we can use some development. I'd particularly like to develop base tax more than anything else. And again, I'm looking for that's over in the Philippines. not coastal. Plymouth, I know, is coastal. But produces furs. Whirling Cape produces fish, and that's kind of a terrible resource. I think that's the wrong culture, though. Yeah. Screw it. Havana's really cheap to develop right now, and it produces grain. We'll call that good for now. Cayman Islands? Eventually produces aluminum, so I'm not going to go with that. Richmond. Alright, for now we will let that go, even though we'll have to spend more admin points before we take the tech. What's going on with this fleet? Never mind, that's not a fleet, it's an army. Successfully raided treasure fleets, 2 of them. Alright, so we did take on a fleet in the Mediterranean, and it looks like Brittany's going to get pieced out right now. There it is. Brittany will cede Vendée to France. Sad. And we're almost done with the siege in Lüneburg. Platt has entered a military alliance with Lüneburg. I don't even want to look at the rest of the world right now. Just leave me to my own devices. Butuan is converted finally, so the Philippines are all my religion and all part of the trade company. And there was something I wanted to do with Butuan. Oh yeah, upgrade the... Oh, I can't upgrade during war. Cool. Okay. We'll go ahead and convert the quickest ones now, again. I think it's funny nobody's tried to... Did I get disease outbreaks on both of these at the same time? Bullshit. Another battle in the Mediterranean. And of course, Burgundy, okay, that's farmlands, it's not mountains. But it does look like Burgundy won that battle. Lunenburg got black flagged somehow. We're going to come down into Venice. And as soon as we can, we're going to peace out Lunenburg. Oh, I forgot about France's land in the Netherlands. I'm going to take as much money as I can get. War reparations, of course. Don't care if they get rid of alliances. Sure. Burgundy's looking like they're going to take Zealand, and we've won the Siege of Liège. Seriously? Austria only has a single fort of a first level fort, a capital fort. Okay, well, we're going for Austria then. I can force religion. I'm not going to do that though. Evacuation Day. The British troops in New York, the last vestige of British authority in the United States, departed Manhattan on November 25th. The Continental Army, led by George Washington, marched triumphantly through the city, and the last shot of the war was shot by a British, combined British and French for some reason, British gunner firing a cannon at the jeering crowds gathered on the shore of Staten Island. The shot fell well short of the shore, and the people shouted in triumph. Finally, gained prestige. Because that's relevant right now. And the Venetian army is actually laying siege to Connie. Is that mountains or what? Yep. I'd actually prefer to force march there if I can. Alright, so we're going to hope that we get there and nobody abandons that siege and we can destroy that army for the most part. But that'll have to wait until the next episode.